And I'd like to welcome up Amanda Parker, Country Manager and GM of Constant Contact Canada.
Hi, everyone. We're going to be doing a fireside chat today with one of my favorite Constant Contact users, Lindsay Moore. Lindsay, come on up. Lindsay, with over 30 years of experience in the wellness industry, is the founder and CEO of Elite Spa Group, a multi-location brand known for innovation and wellness. Before we get started, I just want to get a sampling of who we got in the audience. Raise your hand if you are in e-commerce. Okay, brick-and-mortar and e-commerce maybe. Okay. Tech startups. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Shout out where you come from. All right, that's a good sampling. So, Lindsay, tell us a little bit about your business.
We got it? We got it. Yeah. So I'm a brick and mortar, but I have been in the wellness industry, like you said, for about 30 years. And approximately, I'm going to say about 14 years ago, it was time to start the brick and mortar process. And I opened a spa in the Niagara region. My experience, my background is more in the wellness tourist industry. I started in some of the large resort spas, and we were always catering to tourists and guests and people that we didn't see very often. You know, if we were lucky to see somebody again the following year, that's what we expected. But I did notice myself that we were not catering to the locals. So I learned the art of guest service, customer service in the tourist industry. We were really heavily focused on that. And I saw a hole in the market for locals who deserve that sort of wellness and care as well. So I always knew I would start my own business. I don't think it's something I had much of a choice in. And so when the time was right for me and my life and our family, I went out on my own. We took that leap of faith, right? There was no net. We just jumped. And thankfully it worked, and I went out on my own as a sole entrepreneur.
Absolutely. And when you say you didn't have much choice,
right?
Why do you say that?
Because I just feel I'm an esthetician, and it is not lost on me for a moment that I have the ability to make people feel really good or bad, right? So I don't take that for granted, and fortunately I use my powers for good. But I just knew that's a superpower. That's great. But I think even more importantly, I am a business owner. I'm an innovator. I have to create. I have to grow. I can't stay stagnant for very long. I am uncomfortable being comfortable. So I think no matter what, you don't always get the choice in what you're good at. And I happen to find it early, right? But I think no matter what I would have been passionate about, I would have somehow landed in a position of ownership.
Right. I think a lot of entrepreneurs feel that way, where like there just isn't a choice. It's just a thing you have to do. You have to solve the hole in the market. You have to solve the pain point.
Yeah. I mean, there are days. It's hard. It is hard, long work. You certainly have to love it, but there's days where I'm like, I just wish I could go work in a flower shop. But I know within a matter of weeks, I'd have that place turned upside down. I would have the sign changed. I would fix the website. I would just fix everything. And so that's where I just know I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Right. Health, wellness, beauty is an incredibly competitive and can be crowded space. How do you stand out in that?
Yes, it is probably one of the more saturated industries that you can choose. Everybody is an expert, right? Everybody knows better. Even from a guest, like the clients today know everything, right? So how we stand out is one of the things that I'm super passionate about. I think I think I talk myself silly about it, is I am very customer guest experience orientated. And what I promise is consistency. And I focus heavily on that for sure.
How do you carry that through a digital experience so that you can absolutely do in your brick and mortar? How do you carry that through the digital experience?
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. It's a learning, I'm still learning every day. But consistency is the key to everything. You've got to be a little bit different when you are running a company, but you've also got to stay consistency and authentic. And you have to be willing to put yourself out there. You have to be vulnerable, right? So I just stay consistent and I just keep sharing what we're doing and being open and listening to what your guests want, right? I'm walking around the spa, I'm observing, I'm on all the time, and I'm looking for opportunities I'm looking for moments that I can share with everybody who's not in the spa at the moment, right? And just trying to just share and stay authentic so that everybody knows what I'm trying to provide.
How important has digital marketing been to your business?
It has been instrumental. It's a non-negotiable. We don't have an option these days, right? I am more seasoned than a lot of entrepreneurs, maybe in this room. So I remember the yellow pages, and I remember putting an ad in the paper, and I remember those days where I just had to prove myself with my hands, right? I had an opportunity when a client was on my table. That was what brought them back, right? But now, with social media, that's the first place people go to find out who you are. So it has become 100%, it's a non-negotiable. We don't have a choice. So you might as well dive in and as entrepreneurs, we don't do anything halfway, right? You just gotta give it your all. And so that's what I try to do. And I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. I've laughed at myself many times. On some of the silly things that we've done. And some things have fallen flat and some things have hit the mark and I still don't know why, right?
Yep.
But you just have to have fun with it. So I just try to remember that and again, it's that word, but consistent.
Right. A lot of entrepreneurs and small businesses get stuck and they kind of have failure to start for fear of perfection or not being as good as the next guy. And so we see a lot of this paralysis that happens before delving into social media or even starting off with email marketing. What is your advice to all the entrepreneurs in the audience on the importance and how to get going?
Right. I think the key is to just start. Give yourself a little bit of grace, and not be so hard on yourself. And I've said it, I say it all the time. I think one of the villains is comparison. You've got to stop comparing yourself to Joe down the street, who looks like they're doing exactly the same thing. They're still not you, right? So stop comparing yourself, but really just start. And you actually get better at it as you go along, right? What I did 5 years ago, you have to be able to laugh at it, right? But you grow and you learn and you meet different people and you get great ideas, you get support, but it's just about starting. And I've had that where I've overthought and this doesn't look good enough and this isn't representing me. It's fine. And I think you've had the guts to start up a business. That's difficult. This is easy. This should be fun. Just put yourself out there a little bit, right? And stop worrying about what other people think, because I do remind myself of this because I'm just as guilty as the next person. People's attention spans are not very long. So if you make that mistake, in a week from now, they've seen 100 other mistakes. And so you've got like a clean slate it's on a loop. You got opportunity to try again. And you just keep being consistent. And eventually, it just works. Trust the process.
Right. And so some of the things that we hear often from our small businesses is, I don't have the budget. I'm not going to be able to compete with big brand X. And in particular, right now, we are seeing a huge opportunity for Canadian businesses to stand out in Canada what would you advise those small businesses who are competing against the big guys to connect with their communities?
I think stop competing, right? You might be talking to a very different audience. There are people who are looking for those big brands, but I think there are more people looking to us, looking to connect with down-to-earth, authentic humans, right? So it's like, don't compete. Stay in your lane, find your groove, and just give it 100%.
Yeah. We see a huge opportunity. Small businesses are good at what they're good at. You are the expert in your space, and it gives you a unique opportunity to connect with your local community. And we see actually the big branded budget stuff doesn't do as well as the less polished, really authentic, what's called kind of user-generated content. For my marketing budget, that's where it's all going. It's all going to user-generated real content versus the big brand stuff. So don't hold back because you think like, oh, I don't have hundreds of thousands to do a big campaign. It's like $200. Like you can get a lot for very little when you get started. So how do you carry that voice through in your marketing? And you've had a couple viral moments. Talk to us about that.
A viral moment?
About like that authenticity, and like you obviously didn't go in with the goal of I'm going to make this viral.
No.
So talk us through
I still don't know how it happened. You know what? I try to stay as authentic as I possibly can. I am talking to my guests. I have grown a little bit. I think I've maybe turned a corner in the last little while where I took myself too seriously before. I really did. I was really so concerned with, just you're trusting people. People are trusting me with their wellness. I do not, I don't think lightly of that at all. Like for somebody to come to me for an hour's worth of a facial or massage or relaxation, they can go anywhere, and they have chosen me. And I don't know what it took for them to get to me, right? It could be a gift certificate. Something could have happened in their life where they needed a break, and somebody saw that and gifted them this amazing experience. So because I take that so seriously, I was taking my image too seriously. And when I kind of started to tear the layers back a little bit and started to be a little bit more myself, is when I started seeing more engagement, more positivity, more friendliness, actually. So yeah, I think it was just letting my guard down a little bit. So one of the viral moment, is that what you wanted me to talk about?
Yeah, I want you to talk about your viral moments.
I don't know if it's a curse or a blessing, but I think I'm funny. So when I see funny things, I think everybody must find this funny. So, I'll look around the spa and I'll find moments where I could share, wellness and relaxation, but I also find some things funny that you might not know of. So anyway, I wasn't overthinking one day, and I was like, I wonder if guests know what happens when they leave, right? First and foremost, we miss you. We can't wait for you to come back, but we go through a process when we reset for the next guest. And we have a system. We clean the room, we change the sheets, we do all the things. But I had a moment, like a giggle, where I roll the sheets. And I remember like when we were kids, you'd spin the towel and you'd whip each other with it. That's what I do with the laundry. And then I just chuck it into the corner. I get fresh sheets. I wipe everything down. And I thought that's a little bit funny. I don't know why, but I got a chuckle out of it. And so I did a TikTok with that. And I am tech comfortable. I am not tech savvy. So I created this simple TikTok, and it was just what happens after you leave. I did the sheet thing. I threw it at the camera. The camera went black, and it said, "Miss you already." Stuck some music on there, and my kids, who are all, techie, the entire day we were just killing ourselves laughing that it got 60,000 views, and I still don't know why, and it's never happened since, and it didn't change my life. No check came in the mail. But it
Not
was
an influencer now?
I am not. A little closer. A little closer. We all got goals. But yeah, like I was waiting for the check. I'm like, isn't this what happens when you go viral? But no, it was just a funny moment, and it just inspired me to let loose a little bit and have a bit of fun. So I like talking about taking myself a little bit seriously, like the social media platforms that are available. For some reason, TikTok was the first that that gave me permission to relax and have a little bit of fun. And then it just allowed me to acknowledge the other platforms. It's okay to do that too.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the underscore is like, just try stuff. You had no idea that this thing was going to do anything. Same with some of your other content. And so it's an opportunity to throw stuff at the wall, see what sticks, right? You're doing that a lot. You're iterating with your business a lot. You're trying out new models. You can do that with social media. And then my final question before we have some Q&A, it wouldn't be a good GM if I didn't ask you, how does Constant Contact help your business? It is,
to me, it's a lifeline to my community. I love writing emails. I love creating content. It's not a labor of love. I'm not a marketer, but I love sharing what we're doing, and I love getting my point across, that's for sure. But it allows me to express myself and share my business and grow my business and brag about my staff and our accomplishments and our love of the wellness industry. But for me, my passion is in the treatment suite. So with Constant Contact, I get to do all those things in a way that is so user-friendly that I don't waste hours and hours figuring it out. I just express what I want to say, and I allow myself to have a little fun with it. I schedule it all, and it just does what and when you're a small business person or owner, entrepreneur, you wear all the hats. So when something gives you extra time or makes your life a little bit easy, you hold on to that and you run with it. And that is what Constant Contact has done for me.
Great. Okay, I think we've got a couple minutes for Q&A.
All right, any questions? We'll pull some questions that we got. Okay, Steve, do you want to get that one? I'll get this one right here.
Sure, so keep your hand up if you had a question.
Okay. If you saw success with your TikTok, did you ever consider getting a team or getting maybe people who are more in touch with maybe younger generations or people who are more TikTok savvy?
I do love the idea. I'm not 100% sure what is going to, skyrocket my business. I don't know if that is the way or if that's just an outlet for me to have a little bit of fun. I don't know those answers. But, I'm in a fortunate position where I've been doing this for 30 years. I'm in a season where my goals and my direction is changing, right? I'm working on exit strategies these days, very different from many years ago. But what I do have the pleasure of doing is bringing some younger staff, younger talent into the business. And I love getting ideas from them. And they are estheticians, they are wellness providers, spa therapists, we refer to ourselves as. So not only am I nurturing them into a spa career, but I am also tapping into that little fountain of tech awareness, right? And I see an opportunity. I'm going to go and get what I can from that. But my dream is to, own an elite spa group empire with lots of locations, and then have a marketing team and have the HR team and have all the departments running like a well-oiled machine. And I'll be doing great things like this.
So we said Q2 was for the bold, and that was a bold question. Let's see who's got some other ones. Yeah.
Hi, I'm curious. Obviously, every industry is changing really rapidly right now, and I would love to know where you think the future of wellness and specifically the future of spas are going in 10 years from now. What experiences might we be having at a spa?
Great question. I do think about it a lot. I don't know. It's a tough one. As much as it's changed in the 30 years, the core purpose hasn't changed. So I don't think guests can ever, I never want any, how do I word this? This is a good one. I am a very tactile individual, right? I share my gift with these, right? And my wonderful, personality. When you're, waxing somebody's legs, they're not coming back for a great experience. They're coming back for me. But I hope we never lose that tactile. No matter what happens, I hope we never lose that, because that is mutually beneficial, right? I get to provide you with something that I love and is amazing, and you get to walk away feeling amazing because of me, and that's important. So we're seeing a lot of technology now with automated massage things, and there's machines putting lashes on, but you can't talk about your trip to Mexico with that machine so I'm hoping we don't lose those relationships and that personalized thing. Technology, I think there's always a place for it, but I think sometimes keeping it simple is where it's at.
Great. Question back here.
Hi there. How are you? Back here?
Oh, hi.
Yes. So my question is regarding the user experience. So you mentioned that you love to be out there observing people and really providing the people what they're asking for. Yeah. And my question is, how do you get inside the people's brain? Like, is it a survey that you get after their experience, or is it observing their interactions with whatever they're going through?
We do surveys. We do lots of emails. We always ask questions in our emails. But whenever I'm engaging with a guest, I'm always staying curious, right? What brought you in today? One of my favorite things, even just when I'm booking a guest on the phone, are you treating yourself today, or are you using a gift certificate? Why are you coming in, right? Is there anything else that I can do for you? We constantly ask questions, and I think we talk a little less and we listen, right? Guests will, when they are feeling good and they are comfortable and they're feeling well, they are an open book, right? And fortunately for me, because I'm dealing with a local clientele where my bread and butter is about them coming back over and over again, and not just yearly, but hopefully monthly, bi-monthly. They're getting to know me, so I have to be authentic with them as well. I am just as happy to see them and grateful as how I hope how they feel when they see me, and that's customer service. I think I'm hyper focused on really providing great service, and I think it's becoming a bit of a lost art, and that makes me nervous.
Okay, thank you. We have time for one more question. I think we're going to go here with the gentleman.
Hi. Thank you so much for sharing your story, and I'm going to be speaking here from the little Italian corner of this crowd. Okay. It reminded me a lot of a brand that exists in Europe. It's called VeraLab. And this lady, I admire her a lot. She has a very similar story. She was a beautician, and she had a spa of her own. And she found a way to become viral because she had really good timing. She started posting stuff when Facebook and Instagram were becoming something. And it sounds like you might have hit a similar cornerstone in your path with TikTok. And I was wondering, what would be your idea to scale the business? Because the way she found a way around it was to get into cosmetics. So VeraLab started as a spa, a very local one, much like yours. Yeah. And it's now the second or third company in Italy and Spain.
It's amazing.
It's billions of dollars in revenues. And it all started with the founder being letting herself
just
lose
authentic.
A little bit, being authentic and posting about herself. And she was genuinely fun. So she managed to actually get a lot of followers and a lot of visibility. and it's
Right.
a great success story. So I wanted to ask you what you see in the future with TikTok and what you're doing.
Right. I don't know if TikTok is my future, but I'm not gonna write it off entirely. But I think you hit the nail on the head there. People aren't buying her cosmetics; they are buying into her and her authenticity and her passion, and she's just aligning herself with people who want to feel the same in that safe space. And I think that's what I do. It's taken me a while. It's still something that I have to work on. Just allowing yourself, when you put yourself out there, when you are being vulnerable, you are opening yourself up to not just great things, but not so great things, right? So you just have to stay in your lane, learn to shut what is that imposter syndrome, right? As entrepreneurs, we've spent many awakened hours with nobody to talk to but ourselves. So you get in your own head, right? So I just want to continue to get out of my own way, put myself out there and just go with it, right? Just crack on and be open to any experience.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lindsay. Thanks for sharing.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Come grab some socks at the Constant Contact table.